How we doing, everybody, and welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Tuesday, a fantastic Tuesday here in the great state of Wisconsin. I wish I could say it's a little bit better, but feeling a little bit underneath the weather myself right now. It's these fluctuating temperatures right now. They always seem to get to me. Working outside all day long, so, you got your warm days, and all of a sudden it freezes on you. You get the fluctuating temperatures during the day. You get the rain and everything like that on you. And, feeling a little bit underneath the weather, so I don't know how well my voice is going to hold out for this one, but we're going to give her a shot. We're going to give her a go and see what happens here. I didn't want to miss a day here talking about Wisconsin sports because we got the Bucks coming up tonight here. We have the Brewers. They took a loss yesterday, but they will continue the series here against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I can't miss Tuesday's Fresh on the Farm report. Come on. I can't miss it. So lots to get into today. Lots to get into. But right away, before I get going here, I want to mention a few of the sponsors of the show here before I get started. First, Game Day Supply in Onalaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Onalaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell, find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. And Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it was at work, whether it was on the basketball court, the baseball field, whatever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. He'll get you right. He'll get you back to work, back on the court, back on the field. Whatever it is, he'll get you back there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. But with that, I just want to mention a few of the sponsors there. I want to get into it for the day here. Well, I got the energy to do it, right? You get some of those days, you're like, I don't have the energy to get into it much today, but I got it right now, so let's get into it. We saw the Brewers' first loss on this road trip after sweeping the Cardinals. Now they lose game one here to the Pirates, and it seems like the games that the Brewers lose this year, it's always has an error, right? There's always an error involved in the game, and this one, there was an error on a flip to first by Jake Bauers. That led to the floodgates opening. Not really floodgates opening, right? It was only 4-2. But it led to the Pirates being able to push across a couple of runs, one on that hit there, and then also they had an O'Neill Cruz 2-run single there that actually pushed the lead to 4-1 at the time. Brewers were able to scratch across the run late, but that was about it for the Brewers in this one. They had the tying run on. In scoring position there, just couldn't get him in, and 4-2 loss for the Brew Crew in this one. The bats went cold. Only 5 hits for the Brewers in this one. Contreras had a hit. Bauers did have a hit in this one. Hoskins had a home run early on there. He also had a RBI ground out in that 8th inning that led to one of the runs for the Brewers there. And then you look down the lineup here. Churio did have a hit late, and Ortiz had a hit in this one. Outside of that, not much to talk about hitting-wise for the Brewers. The one thing I hate, I get you want to play matchup in games, right? You want to play matchup. I get that. But I would take Sal Frelick against Aroldis Chapman over Joey Wiemer against Aroldis Chapman. That is just my opinion. And you might agree, you might disagree, but I tell you what, you look down that bench at that very time. Yes, you needed Joey Wiemer for his outfield. You were going to put him in the field anyways. But you know what? To me, put in Owen Miller to pinch hit. Put in, Gary Sanchez to hit. I don't care what you do at that point there. But Joey Wiemer has proven to be a guy that will chase. He will chase high heat. And he chased high heat against Aroldis Chapman. 3 straight pitches. The first 2 were borderline strikes, probably, right? Shouldn't have been called strikes. They were on the edge. And then that last one, the sinker way up and way outside. And I get it, 102. That's different. I'm sitting here talking to you guys about it, and it's like it's supposed to be easy and whatever. I right there with you. I'm not saying it's easy. But what I'm saying is he chases. He does. And to pinch hit him in that spot, I don't get it. I would have had Sal up there. Because you know what? The way that the rest of that inning went, with Contreras walking, then Adames walking, and I believe Sanchez then walked after that to Aroldis Chapman before they did take him out after that. Sal watches pitches. Sal would have watched those pitches go by. That strike, it would have changed, right? The at-bat would have changed if it was Sal at the plate. I'm not saying he would have got the same pitches or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that I believe in Sal Frelick to be able to put together a solid at-bat, whether it's against a righty or a lefty, over Joey Wiemer. So in that spot, a 4-1 game, heading into that 8th inning, I'm leaving Sal in. That's just my opinion on it, but I would leave Sal in there. No way. If you had, I don't know, I'm trying to think of right-handed bat the Brewers have that I would put in. I mean, if you had Rhys Hoskins sitting on the bench, right? Or somebody that is sitting on your bench like Willie Adames or Contreras. I don't know if Contreras got a day off. Okay, that's a solid right-handed bat. But Joey Wiemer's not a solid right-handed bat. Guy's batting $125 right now. He has not put the ball in play consistently for the Brewers. He's been a known strikeout guy in the past for this Brewers team. Not the spot. Not the spot for Joey. I'm going to be honest with you, not the spot. I like Joey Wiemer. Don't get me wrong. I like Joey Wiemer. I hope at some point he figures it out. I really do. But in the 8th inning of a 4-1 ball game where you need base runners because you still believe that you are in this game, Joey Wiemer's not the guy I'm putting in. That's just honest opinion on it. That's just honest, down-to-earth opinion on that one. Joey Wiemer's not the guy. So, was not a fan of that pinch hit appearance by Joey Wiemer there. But the Brewers, like I said, they did put together a decent inning after that, just weren't able to push across runs in that game. Hits were a premium for the Brewers in this one. That one error was a killer for the Brewers. Pitching-wise for the Brewers in this one, not bad. We saw Joe Ross, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, 1 home run given up there. Hobie Milner, 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned, 1 walk for Hobie. And then Vieira came in, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts for Vieira in his appearance. I thought the bullpen pitched okay for the Brewers. Hobie did get roughed up a little bit. Vieira looked good. And then Joe Ross pitched solid. Did he give you a dominant 6-inning performance? No. Could you have gone 6? Maybe. With him there? Maybe. But Hobie ran into some problems then. So you don't know if Joe Ross would have ran into the same problems. Now he only had 79 pitches. At some point, he's got to be able to extend that thing out. Because we're going to talk about it here in a little bit. But the Brewers bullpen is going to get, there's going to be a bus running from Nashville to Milwaukee or wherever they're at pretty darn soon here, because as of right now, this Brewers starting rotation is not giving the innings needed to get this team, get the bullpen some rest as of right now. Thank goodness that Vieira was able to figure it out tonight or last night there, and we didn't have to use anybody else out of relief there, but not good. Not good Brewers pitching wise right now in that starting rotation, eating innings. That is one of the key things that I've been watching, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse, and the bullpen is they're getting exhausted out there. They're going to get exhausted, and this bullpen's going to be burnt out here in a month if we keep going on this trajectory. So they got to find some starting pitching. They 100% have to find some starting pitching there. So Brewers drop Game 1, 4-2 to the Pirates there. They will have the Game 2 coming up tonight here, a 5:40 start for that one. That'll be on Bally Sports Wisconsin Extra. And it'll also be on ESPN Radio and Brewers Radio Network there for Brewers. Sorry about that. I told you, it was roughing me up there. But they will be on the Brewers Radio Network. Not sure who's pitching for the Brewers yet. We have no idea. Outside of Freddie Ray and Joe Ross right now, we have no idea. Wade Miley just got put on the 15-day IL. Jacob Junis was slowly working his way back. And then yesterday gets hit by a fly ball, while in the outfield warming up, and was taken by ambulance to the hospital. Now, he was conscious. Everything seemed fine. He was talking. So, good on that end, but scary situation. And now Junis is out for a while. I mean, the Brewers, they got to answer questions in the starting rotation because right now you're going to have to dig deep. Aaron Ashby is going to have to come back. I don't care what people think. Aaron Ashby's going to have to come back, and we're just going to have to hope that Aaron Ashby can be like an Adrian Hauser at the back end of this rotation. I don't care if he comes and he gives me 6 innings of 4-run baseball. 6 innings of 4-run baseball. I don't care. We need guys to eat innings at this point. I don't care if it's a Cy Young candidate. If Ashby comes up and he pitches like a Cy Young or he pitches like a number 5 in the rotation, I don't care. I don't care whatsoever. We need guys to come in right now and give the Brewers meaningful innings in that starting rotation. Now, is Aaron Ashby going to be able to do that? I think so. I really do. I think he can give me 5 innings of 4-run baseball. I really do. Now, is that what we want him to do? No. I would rather have Aaron Ashby trot out there and give me 9 innings of no-hit baseball and just strike out everybody. That would be fantastic. But guess what? We have to accept Aaron Ashby is not going to win the Cy Young. Aaron Ashby is going to be a solid piece at the back end of this rotation, and we have to live with that. And if he gives us 4 runs in those appearances, whatever. We walk away from it. If it's 6 innings, that's solid. If he controls the pitch count, gives us 6 innings of 4-run baseball or less, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. Until you can give me a better answer than that, well, what are you going to do? Keep pitching bullpen days? How many more bullpen days can we throw? I mean, realistically, how many bullpen days can we afford to have? And then you look at Bryce Wilson. I mean, yeah, he can get you 3. He maybe could get to 4, but he hasn't been extended past that. We need more than that. So Aaron Ashby's going to have to be a guy because Robert Gasser was the next man up, and Gasser is currently on the shelf right now. So we won't see Gasser for a little while. Mizorowski, he's a little ways out. Carlos F. Rodriguez is in AAA, but I don't know if they're ready to call him up. I know they called up Tobias Myers. He's going to probably make a start. If not today here, I would assume he's going to make a start in the next couple days. I don't know if they announced the Wednesday starter as of right now. I was just checking that out. They have not announced the Wednesday starter yet, or the Thursday starter. So, you have, like I said, you have Freddie, you have Ray, and you have Joe Ross. You missing Hall now, and you're missing Miley. You got to fill in the pieces. You got to fill in the pieces with somebody. I believe Tobias Myers will be one of them. Who's the other piece? Who are you going to put in this? You can't do bullpen days. We are in a stretch right now of, I believe, 13 games. How many bullpen days can you afford in a 13-game stretch? You have the Yankees coming up. You have the Rays coming up after this Pirates series. You have a day off, and then you play the Cubs, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh all back-to-back right there. And then another day off before you have a 6-game series. The bullpen can't afford much more. They got to find starters. They have to. They have to. I know it's early on in the season, and you're like, well, you're jumping the gun on this, blah, 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 blah. No, we're not. Nobody's jumping the gun on this. We are seeing what the Brewers have right now, and I'm looking a month ahead, and I'm telling you right now, the Brewers need starting pitching worse than anything right now. They have the bats. I've seen these bats. These bats are solid. They have the bullpen when right. When not having to pitch from the 4th inning on, they have the bullpen. Now, what do we have in the starting rotation? Freddie and Ray. That's it. That's the only 2. Joe Ross has pitched good, right? But those are the 2 right now that have pitched phenomenal for the Brewers. How much longer can those 2 carry that success on, and how much longer can the Brewers bullpen afford to carry the pieces for the rest of the rotation? That's the question mark. So I asked that out there. Actually, before I get to the question that I asked on Facebook yesterday, I want to get to a couple more of our sponsors here quick of the show. First, Marshfield Motor Speedways, located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Stop in there for some great family fun. This summer is going to be fantastic down there at the track. You got to check out the schedule there on Facebook. Just search Marshfield Motor Speedways. Search it up on Safari or the internet. wherever your web browser takes you, Google, wherever it is, search Marshall Motor Speedways. You'll find it there, and you got to get down to the track this summer because it's going to be some great stuff happening down there. Also, sports scene, sports cars, and memorabilia. Stop in there in the Marshall Mall and see Al. He has everything you need, from sporting cards to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin, and also Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. But with that, I wanted to get to the question that I asked out on Facebook today, and that was, I said the Brewers starting pitching has struggled to eat up innings and the bullpen is being taxed. Would you guys look at bringing in pieces and depth? If so, who would you look at? Trevor Bauer? Would love to, and then I just went on and basically said I'd give some shout-outs here on the show. So I'm going to give some shout-outs today. So Paul Rosenfeld, he came out and said two things are clear. One, they have a pretty good team, which can win the division. And he said, two, starting pitching is a huge problem. The Brewers have a very strong farm system, but no starters who are MLB ready. In my opinion, they need to trade one or two prospects to get a starter or two to eat some innings. The Athletics and Rockies are teams with a couple of decent starters who may be interested. Definitely time to start shopping there. Thank you for the comment. I agree. The Brewers have to go out and find somebody. I don't know if you have to go out and find somebody who's going to be like you said there, we're not looking for a Cy Young candidate. I mean, we're not looking for this guy who's going to light the world on fire. We're looking for guys who are going to be solid, back end of the rotation guys who can give us 5 to 6 innings. That's what we're looking for. And if a trade is there, if there's a team out there that you look at that can give you a solid deal, I mean, Gombar for the Rockies, like you said, and Quaintrell, both are having solid years so far for the Rockies right now. I mean, Rockies, A's, the A's are looking, I talked about them yesterday. You just wait for them to DFA some guys because right now they'll DFA anybody who does good. So, but both teams have some decent pitchers. Blackburn's been pitching well for the A's on this young season here, and then so has Sears for the A's. So I 100% agree. I did not think about the Oakland A's or the Rockies, but I completely agree with you there, Paul. I mean, I'm looking in those two directions. There's a lot of directions you can look right now, right? There's free agents out there too, but maybe you look in the trade market. Find a guy out there that you can swap a trade out there. I mean, the A's, I don't know what they're looking for. I mean, they're looking to unload a roster and rebuild once they get to Vegas. So maybe those guys come cheap, right? So I definitely love the comment there. Completely agree with you. Thank you for the comment there, Paul. Also, we had a couple other ones here. David Lee Ewing came out and said, need to do something fast. The starting pitching is a recipe for disaster. Need at least 2 mid-level starters. Yep, 100% agree. 100% agree with you. They need mid-level guys. We're not asking for top end. We're not asking for bottom feeder, just dumpster barrel guys. We're not looking for Matt Garza, right? We're not looking for Matt Garza, and we're not looking for Corbin Burns. We're looking for some guys to sit in that middle of that rotation and pitch some solid baseball. That's what we're looking for right now. So 100% agree with you there. And Mason Furcus said, yup, don't sign a Cy Young who is hitting in the prime of his career for league minimum. I think he meant pitching. I think he meant pitching there. I think he meant pitching. I think he was referring to the Trevor Bauer comment there. And I've said my opinion on Trevor Bauer before. And there's a lot of other comments here where people are talking about, stop talking about Trevor Bauer, this and that. There's a reason why teams haven't signed him, this and that. I get it. I 100% get it. But if this guy comes in for league minimum, right? League minimum. He comes in for league minimum. If he's a problem, dump him. Dump him. Just get rid of him. He's league minimum. He's not tied to nothing. You will eat, $720,000 if he just is a nuisance. But if he comes in, and this is just me, if he comes in and he's good with the Brewers, good clubhouse guy, right? Everybody told me that Josh Donaldson was a problem in the clubhouse, right? He was just this big old problem, right? And I never heard anything bad about Josh Donaldson when he came in. Did you? Because I didn't. So, if Trevor Bauer's just this big problem, if he comes into the Brewers organization and he's fine in the clubhouse and everybody's okay with him and they all become friends and blah, 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 and whatever you want to happen in a clubhouse, right? You want them all be hand in hand walking around, right? If they all get to that point, right? And he's a nuisance on the field, but not to his team, not to his clubhouse, but he's a nuisance to like a Reese Hoskins and a O'Neal, right? If he's like that, or McNeil, sorry about that, McNeil. If he's like a Reese Hoskins McNeil, right, where he's not afraid to play a little chippy, right? To play a little chippy out there. Is that a problem? Is that really a problem? Because this is a guy who's still pitching very well. If he comes in and he's a nuisance in the clubhouse, this is what I would say. This is what I would simply say. It all goes back to, I imagine everybody knows about the great Michael Jordan, right? Everybody knows about the great Michael Jordan. And Dennis Rodman was a nuisance, right? This guy is just, to say that he was a far out there dude, he was a far out there dude. And Michael Jordan went to Phil Jackson and said, can you coach him? Can you coach this guy, right? Can you coach this guy? And Phil said, yeah, I can coach him. So they got Dennis, right? And the rest is history. We saw the way that went, right? Fantastic for the Bulls. Now, that's the NBA. This is baseball. Different story, right? If you go to Pat Murphy, right? Let's just say you're Matt Arnold. And you go to Pat Murphy. And you say, hey, Murph, we got this guy, Trevor Bauer. Nobody's looking at him, right? People are watching him. They're seeing his highlights all over the place. But no other team's jumping on him. Do you think that you can control him? And then I would go to some of my team leaders. Willie Adames, Christian Yelich. You can even venture as far as, you'd have William Contreras in there. And you would say, okay, you guys are my centerpieces right now, right? You guys are my leaders in the clubhouse, right? That's Willie Adames for you, leader in the clubhouse. William Contreras, he's your catcher, leader in the infield there. You have your long-time left fielder now, signed for a while yet, in Christian Yelich. You go to these three. And you say, all right, we have this opportunity. You guys have seen our pitching. You know we can use a boost. What do you guys think? Will you guys be able to work with this guy? You guys have played against him. You've had experience against him. Do you think that if he comes in here, it will ruin the morale? And if they say yes, case closed. Dunzo. Done. We have to stop holding these cases of these women, these allegations against him, against Trevor Bauer. Because that is not the reason why. And if that's the reason, he's been proven innocent. What more do you want? That's my question to it. What more do you want out of that situation? He's proven innocent. Shohei Ohtani's proven innocent. There's still people who are skeptical about both situations, right? But nobody's sitting here and telling us that Shohei Ohtani should be blacklisted from the MLB. So what's the difference? Oh, he's a clubhouse nuisance. Okay. If these guys in the Brewers organization, the players, and Murph, if they don't think they can handle him in the clubhouse, then don't bring him in. But if they think that they can handle it for the amount of solid pitching that he will give you, bring him in. Bring him in. But it's up to the clubhouse. That's where I stand on it. It's up to the clubhouse. It's not up to the fans. Tell you what, because if it was up to the fans, Christian Yelich would have been traded a long time ago, right? He would have been dumped off when he started to go downhill. Now we're glad he didn't do that, right? Because he's been hitting solid. The back issues are a problem. But he's been hitting solid. So that's my take. You leave it up to the clubhouse. You see what they have to say about it. So, I mean, yeah, that's just what I got to say about the Bauer situation. Skoda, Ontario, that's interesting. He said, I'd rather see what Greinke or Odorizzi, both former Brewers, would have left in the tank than sign Bauer. If a different arm comes in as a replacement for Hall in the rotation, maybe Hall could be a long relief guy until he either performs more consistently or a rotation spot comes available. I talked about that when I was talking about free agent pitchers like a week ago. I said Zach Greinke. I don't know what he has left in the tank, right? But if he has anything, and he can be an inning eater for me, I don't care. I don't need Cy Young Zach Greinke, right? I don't need the best of Zach Greinke. Would it be great? Yeah. I just need a solid pitcher. If Zach Greinke can be that, he can be that for you. So I like that comment there. Dennis Day Jr., he said, I say give Bauer a shot. He was cleared of all charges, and I feel he deserves a chance to redeem himself. Sign him to league minimum, which he said he is willing to do, and throw in some incentives. Agreed. I agree. I agree with you. Some people won't. That's okay. But I agree with you on that. Sign him for league minimum. If he wants league min, sign him for it. If you need to dump him because he's a problem, dump him. Right? But give him a shot. Give him a shot to prove himself because I know he's still got stuff there. And then just a lot of comments about stop mentioning Bauer and all this kind of stop. Aaron Pluger said, stop mentioning Bauer. The fact that he's not already on a team means he's on some kind of don't sign list in the MLB. So that's not happening. They will use the organizational pitching depth and move guys up and down and use the IL for pitching like they do pretty much every season. If someone on the free agent market intrigues them like Tehran did last year, they will bring them in. Yeah, but where's your organizational depth that you're going to bring up? Explain that one to me. Where is it? Because if Gasser's out and Mizorowski's still got some time, he's in AA, right? Miz is not in AAA. He's in AA. He's not ready to rock right now. Where's your depth? Where are you getting this organizational pitching depth from? The bullpen usage down there, you're going to keep... This is where the problem's going to be is we're going to keep moving guys up and down. Like, it's not a recipe for success. Far from it, right? So, where's your organizational depth coming from right now? They have a lot of depth in pitching, yeah, but it's not ready. It's not ready. If it was ready, we wouldn't have this problem right now. We wouldn't be sitting here right now asking ourselves, who the heck is starting tomorrow? Who's starting on Thursday? Who's starting on Friday? If we had all this depth, every answer would be we'd have all the answers. We don't. We don't have a single answer. All we know is DL Hall's on the IL, Jacob Junis is on the IL, and Wade Miley's on the IL. That's all we know. We don't know anything beyond that. So what are you going to do? Your organizational depth, okay? So you brought up Tobias Myers. What if that hits it? What if that's a stink show, right? He's making his debut. What if it's a stink show? Later, we just watched the Rangers, their number 2 prospect come up later, and he gave up 6 runs in his debut. What if Tobias Myers ain't cut out for it, right? Then what? Then where do you go? You need depth. I don't care where it comes from. You need depth. And right now, the Brewers don't have depth. They don't. They got to find it. Free agency, trade, whatever it is, they have to find it there. The organizational depth is there, but it's not ready. So you need to find ready-to-go talent out there somewhere, like a Julio Tehran. Somebody to come into this Brewers organization right now and help with the gaps in the pitching rotation because there's a hole right now. There is a hole between Freddie Peralta. Technically, Colin Ray's slotted in the 3 spot right now, so there's a big hole between those two guys, and there's a hole between Colin Ray and back to Freddie Peralta right now. There are holes throughout the rotation. How do they fill them? That's what we got to see. So that's those are about the biggest comments I had there on the post. Michael Lauer, he said, yes, bring in Bauer on veteran minimum, incentive, lad, and deal for no more than 2 years. Agreed with you there. Derek Morse, he said 100% bring in Bauer. I'm seeing a lot of people like Bauer, a lot of people that don't like Bauer. So I mean, we're not gonna tick off all the fans. We'll just tick off half the fans, right? If we sign Trevor Bauer in there. And then also I did see one more comment that I liked, and that was Chad R. Draper. He said, I've been saying Trevor Bauer since he was on the PBD podcast saying he would sign for league minimum. The trade for Burns hurt this team, just waiting for Gasser to get healthy so he can call him up. DL Hall is good stuff, but struggles on location. He wasn't hit hard as well on Saturday, but after his IL stint, the Brewers should send him down if Gasser is healthy. I agree. DL Hall was going to be a project. The Orioles moved him to the bullpen for a reason. He was going to be a project. He has the stuff, the location. Just when he's off, he's off. When it gets off, it gets ugly. So, I mean, hopefully they can fix DL Hall. Maybe it was his knee that was giving him issues the entire time. But again, the Gasser situation. We don't have Gasser yet. A big prospect for the Brewers that we expected to see early. So hopefully he gets back soon and kind of straightens things out for this Brewers team. But with that, that's about all I got for the Brewers. That's about all I want to talk about with the Brewers there. I wanted to get over to the Fresh on the Farm report here before we jump into the Bucks. So in the Fresh on the Farm report, the Nashville Sounds, they are sitting at 11-10 right now in first half action, plus 29 in run differential. They are right now sitting at 7-5 at home and 4-5 on the road right now. They are 8-7 against 500 plus teams at this very moment. Looking at the Nashville Sounds as of right now, Eric Hayes is leading them down there, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's got a 255 average. Brewer Hicklin, he's got a 306 average in 72 at-bats. 3 home runs for Hicklin down there, 11 stolen bases already on this young season. Tyler Black has been hot to start the year, and don't be surprised if you see Tyler Black soon and maybe Jake Bauers leave this Brewers bench, because looking at Tyler Black, 73 at-bats so far. He's got 23 hits, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, 11 walks to 12 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases, and a 315 average on this young season so far. So good stuff there out of the Brewers AAA team. Other notables down there, I mean, you have Mejia, catcher for him down there in 46 at-bats, 9 RBIs, 3 walks to 11 strikeouts, but a 283 average so far down there. So good stuff all the way around from the Brewers AAA team. Looking on the pitching side of it, as of right now, I mean, Tobias Myers, we'd talk about him, but he's on his way up. In AAA, though, he had a 1.62 ERA, 16 innings, 11 hits, and 22 strikeouts. So solid stuff there out of Tobias Myers. Another good pitching prospect for the Brewers, and this is a big thing of why they are struggling with depth right now. Carlos F. Rodriguez, 6.75 ERA so far. 3 starts. He's got 18 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts. He has given up 14 earned runs on this young season so far and 11 walks. Jansen Junk, another pitcher down there, 4.70 ERA right now in 3 starts, 15 innings, 12 strikeouts. Aaron Ashby struggled too. He's at a 9.28 ERA, 3 games started. He's got 10 innings pitched in total and 11 runs given up, 10 strikeouts on the year down there in the AAA ranks. So not great. Not great at all so far for the Brewers starting in the AAA ranks, but hopefully some good things moving forward here. Just looking at other appearances so far. Blake Holub, he's got 8 appearances so far, 4.91 ERA, 9 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings pitched so far. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on. Harold Chierniel, he's got a 1.08 ERA in 6 appearances, 8 1/3 innings, and 7 strikeouts on this young season. So good stuff there. Coming out of the Brewers AAA team there, the Nashville Sounds. Looking at next up, we have the Biloxi Shuckers. They're 10-5 to start this young season here. And that's been a lot of good hitting for the Biloxi Shuckers down there. Noah Campbell, he's sitting at 324 right now batting. He's got 12 hits and 37 at-bats to start out this young season here. Freddie Zamora, second baseman, 11 hits and 43 at-bats, 2 home runs, and a 256 average down there right now. And then also we have Ernesto Martinez. In 53 at-bats, he's got 13 hits and a 245 average down there for Ernesto. Looking at the pitching staff for the Biloxi Shuckers right now, pretty solid pitching staff down there. It's just slowly working them up, getting up to the AAA level. Tyler Wolsener in 3 starts, he's got a 1.80 ERA, 15 innings and 21 strikeouts. Jacob Mizorowski, 5.23 ERA right now, 3 starts, 10 innings, and 15 strikeouts on the young season so far. A little bit roughed up early on here in minimal appearance so far. Also, looking at some other notables, TJ Shook he has a 2.63 ERA in 3 starts, 13 innings, 11 hits, and 18 strikeouts on this young season. So good stuff there. Out of the Brewers minor leagues, the AA Biloxi Shuckers to start this young season here. Looking over at the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, 10-5 in this young season so far, and looking at the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers right now, that has a lot to do with Gregory Barrow, shortstop. He's got 19 in 47 at-bats. He's got 19 hits so far and a 404 average. Mike Bovey in 38 at-bats so far, he has 21 hits and a 553 average. Let me repeat that for you. 21 hits in 38 at-bats, a 553 batting average. That is ridiculous. And then you look at Matthew Wood. In 27 at-bats, he's got 11 hits. He's hitting 407 down there for this team. I mean, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers are lighting it up on the hitting side of it right now. Looking at the pitching staff, Brett Wierchikowski, he's got a 1.64 ERA in 3 games started, 11 innings pitched, and 14 strikeouts on this young season. Outside of that, we have Mark Manfredi. He's got a 2.35 ERA in 1 start, 7 and 2/3 innings, and 13 strikeouts so far. So good stuff there out of the Brewers. I mean, just talking about those averages right now at high A are ridiculous. Looking down at the Carolina Mudcats now, and this is some good stuff here. 12-3 to start the young season for the Carolina Mudcats. And there again, some solid hitting to start the year. Satchel Norman in 6 at-bats. He's got 2 hits, a 333 average. Cooper Pratt, promising shortstop prospect for the Brewers. He has 22 at-bats. He's got 7 hits and a 318 average on this young season here. Daniel Guillarte, a prospect for the Brewers down there, shortstop. He's got a 225 average. Yofri Rodriguez is sitting 291 right now down there. Yoshawar Garcia, left fielder, and he's got 13 hits and 38 at-bats and a 342 average to start this young season here. And then Juan Baez in 59 at-bats. He's got 20 hits and a 339 average. So good stuff there. Hitting for the Mudcats. Looking over the pitching side, Herrera, he's got a 2.13 ERA right now, 12 innings and 21 strikeouts. And then Yorman Galadez, he's got a 1.93 ERA in 3 starts, 9 innings, and 16 strikeouts. Josh Noth, a prospect, one of the Brewers prospects from last year that they drafted up there, he's got a 3.24 ERA in 3 starts, 8 innings pitched, and 10 strikeouts. So good stuff there from the Brewers minor league system. I tell you what, though, I mean, if you got to get to a game, I would go to the Timber Rattlers right now because you got Mike Bovey hitting 500, over 500 down there at high A. So great stuff there coming out of the high A Timber Rattlers as of right now. But with that, we got to get over to the Bucks. Bucks in action coming up tonight here, a 7:30 start for that game. That'll be on NBA TV here, going up against the Pacers in Game 2 of this series. I mean, we don't know the status. We're expecting Giannis to be out. I expect them to keep Giannis out as long as they possibly can. But we know Giannis. Giannis is going to want to play the second Giannis can play. So, who knows? We might see Giannis sooner rather than later, but I still expect Giannis to be out for this game. Bucks are favored in this one at home, going up against the Pacers, especially after that Game 1 performance that they did have. So, looking at this one a little bit closer, I mean, you got the 1-0 lead. Dame played solid in Game 1. The Bucks 10-7 against opponents in the Central Division this year, and I mean they're averaging 119. They are fourth in the NBA, averaging 119 points per game and shooting about 48% from the field. Looking at the Pacers, they're 11-6 against Central Division opponents, averaging 30 assists per game to lead the Eastern Conference. Tyrese Halliburton has about 10 per game right now. That's what the big thing the Bucks took away in Game 1. The big thing to take away in Game 2 here, you got to control the transition buckets. Take away what the Pacers want to do. They want to run with the basketball. You have to slow them down. Also, I mean, do what you did in Game 1. Come out and punch them. Come out and punch this team in the mouth and don't let them get back into it. Another big thing is avoid the third quarter drought. The Bucks always seem to fall apart in the third quarter. Avoid the third quarter drought in this one, and the Bucks should be A-okay. I mean, defensively, effort. We saw a ton of effort in Game 1 of this series here against the Pacers. We got to see it again in Game 2. The Bucks will be just fine in that sense there. Shooting the basketball. The Bucks have to stay consistent. I mean, looking at Game 1 there, they hit timely shots late in this one. They have to stay consistent throughout the game. Getting to the basket, driving the lane. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Dame's got to be big. Middleton's got to do what he's got to do, and Portis has got to have a big game for the Bucks here. Brook Lopez, he's got to control the paint. He's got to control the paint in this one. Deter shots. That was the big thing he did in Game 1. He deterred a lot of shots from the Pacers as they were trying to drive, a lot from Siakam, or if it was Miles Turner, whoever it was. He was deterring shots. He's got to do that again here in Game 2. Also, I'm looking at the bench. Connaughton, Beasley, if he's coming off the bench there, going to have big games here and get some of these other guys involved. AJ Green, maybe Ajax gets involved a little bit there for his defense. Some of these rookies, if they get involved, they got to come up big for the Bucks in this one. The Bucks need all hands on deck for this Pacers game. Pacers came out flat in Game 1, seemed like they weren't ready for the playoffs. Now they're ready, right? They've seen Game 1. They got blown out Game 1. They're ready for Game 2. It's going to be a different kind of animal now. You're going to get almost regular season Pacers, I would assume, in this game here. So the Bucks have to come out, and they got to come out big in this game here. So lots of good stuff coming up tonight here. You got the Brewers in action for a 5:40 start. You have the Bucks in action for a 7:30 start there on NBA TV. So should be good stuff all the way around with action coming up tonight here. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I thank you guys for listening. Hopefully I made it through and everything sounded good because the throat was starting to give on me there. I didn't know how it would sound, but hopefully it sounded good on my end there. But, I mean, until I catch you guys back here on the show tomorrow, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. But until I catch you guys back here tomorrow talking, hopefully, about a Bucks and Brewers win, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river